Today, we're going to be discussing Joe Rogan's permanent move from YouTube to Spotify, as well as the ramifications of the H3h3 and DramaAlert scandal that is happening right now on YouTube. Let's jump right into it. So, right off the bat, not a lot of us know the details of what happened with Joe Rogan and Spotify, so I turned the conversation over to Kia, who's going to elaborate more on the subject. Kia?
So, the situation is that Spotify is aiming to be the #1 platform for audio in the world. And to achieve that, they have basically used their search results, and they found that Joe Rogan is one of the most searched shows or podcasts on Spotify. So, in presumably a $10 million deal, Joe Rogan will be moving exclusively to Spotify in the upcoming months, and his videos and all his previous conversations will be available only on Spotify and not on any other platform. Personally, I think this is a brilliant move by Spotify because so many people watch Joe Rogan and he has such a wide audience that is growing every day. And if Spotify wants to be the #1 audio platform, including podcasts, music, and all the other stuff, this is great. Another genius thing is that for audio, such as like music and stuff, every time someone listens to that album, Spotify has to pay a certain commission to that offer if Spotify didn't make the music themselves. But in the form of podcasts, Spotify doesn't have to pay commission because they have already paid Joe Rogan like the 10 million or whichever amount they paid him.
Some people, didn't some estimates say it was like 100 million?
Maybe. Yeah. I'm quite unsure of the number, but it's definitely up there.
And is it limited to premium, Spotify Premium, or is it accessible for everybody?
Oh no, the great thing is that it's accessible to everybody, and even in the free version of Spotify, because they serve ads, they're just like gaining money from it. So yeah, it's available everywhere in video form or just audio form, and it will be soon on Spotify.
Yeah, well, I think personally, even if you don't like Spotify as like a brand for whatever reason, I think this is a positive in its entirety because for so long YouTube was the sole platform where a lot of just like music, podcasts, and videos in general were like streamed, and they were really uncontested for quite a while. So Spotify doing this and sort of like taking away some of YouTube's talent has provided YouTube with some decent competition. And I think YouTube having this level of like, competent competition will finally allow them to like, better themselves if they want to actually like keep people on YouTube, because for so long they held a practical monopoly over video streaming online.
I definitely have to agree with that, especially because content creators are struggling, I think, especially with YouTube and stuff like that. And this might really help content creators in general, with YouTube maybe even improving the conditions. Because if people are leaving like him, because he's obviously getting a good deal with Spotify, generally content creators will really have the opportunity to fight, or at least have the opportunity to fight in the first place for better conditions, which I think is really necessary in today's world where things like this really.
Yeah, a lot of the history content creators like Armchair Historian and Alternate History Hub, they're stopping they're halting their production of videos because like YouTube just keeps on demonetizing them, and they're even I guess what word, threatening to just stop using YouTube and using some other website besides YouTube. And with Spotify going on YouTube's turf, YouTube might have to step up its game and allow these history content creators to keep on doing their stuff.
Yeah, especially with like as you guys mentioned, like creators, a lot of them are getting, which if they get 3, their channel will be permanently deleted, and it's just like really sad. And this move will make YouTube realize that hey, either they're gonna step up their game and like actually support creators for once, or eventually they're gonna die out because Spotify is buying the big names in YouTube, and Joe Rogan is definitely a huge name in YouTube, and one of the main factors many people still watch YouTube. And with him gone pretty soon, yeah, YouTube will have to play the nice boy.
Although I don't think the effect is going to be that large, but it's definitely going to have some effect. I definitely agree.
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, many content creators you have to think can't really move to Spotify and stuff like that. But I definitely that opens up opportunity for other websites to do the same thing, which I think is great.
Yeah, I mean, like, to YouTube's credit, they're not exactly like taking like the sort of strike that Spotify dealt to them like by doing nothing. YouTube has signed recently a contract with PewDiePie, like their number one like creator, to have him stream exclusively on YouTube instead of like competing platforms like Twitch. And so basically they're just consolidating like what they already have. For so long, because of all like the scandals that PewDiePie got into, he and like the YouTube like lords basically were divorced for quite a while. Like YouTube did not really want to acknowledge PewDiePie, but like after so long, like at this point they realized that if they don't like use their like biggest chips in this game, like they're gonna lose. So they went on and did a deal with him. It's like at least 10 million, I think, but at this point PewDiePie doesn't need the money, so I guess anything's fine for him. But this move benefits more than anybody else YouTube, and it does provide decent competition all around, not just for like Twitch but like other platforms, honestly, that are trying to do the same thing.
Definitely. I did not know that. Thank you. So yeah, YouTube is apparently doing something. That's fantastic. I hope that other smaller creators will also be supported by this move. Maybe ones with 10 million subscribers, 1 million, or even 100,000. But definitely a step in the right direction. Especially PewDiePie, after like losing so many subscribers because YouTube just decided to, or all the other drama with YouTube. So that's great.
Well, speaking of YouTube drama, I think a lot of viewers right now are reeling in from what's happening with DramaAlert and H3h3. For those of you who are viewing this right now, a lot of you already probably know about this, but in case you don't, I'm just going to summarize it really quickly. Basically, there's always been a degree of bad blood between these two creators. Ultimately, the source of like why they hate each other is like debatable. One could argue that like H3h3 going on to invite Keemstar onto his podcast, and then in the comment sections of his own podcast, H3h3 saying that, yeah, I invited this guy onto my podcast. And then Keemstar making like a bunch of response videos against H3h3. There is like the intentions were always there. It's just that H3h3 recently released a new video on a riff on the title Content Cop. He called it Content Nuke, and basically he went out and basically brought up a bunch of old drama that Keemstar was involved with, as well as like some new stuff, but it was mostly old drama. But beyond this, one of the biggest takeaways from all of this is that H3h3 basically attacked Keemstar and basically attacked him through his sponsors by basically in the video he constantly mentions how Keemstar is sponsored by G Fuel, and he's like, why is G Fuel sponsoring this guy? G Fuel is sponsoring a like human being. Why is G Fuel doing this? So it got to the point where a bunch of H3h3's fans went after G Fuel and like they badgered G Fuel to drop Keemstar, and in the end they eventually did drop Keemstar. And in retaliation, some of Keemstar's fans went to Old Spice, who was one of H3h3's sponsors for their podcast, and basically stated, oh, why are you sponsoring this guy who has said like a bunch of like idiotic things in the past. So Old Spice now, like this is just like recent news. Like only 3 hours ago we learned this, that now Old Spice has dropped Ethan Klein of H3h3, and so they're no longer sponsoring them. So I guess I wanna ask you all the question, and this is a serious debate that's going on right now within the YouTube community as a whole. Should, when criticizing or making these sort of commentary videos on other YouTubers, right? No matter how much like you hate the other person or think they're in the wrong, should you be able to sort of go at their sponsors, go at their source of income, or is there like a limit that we need to like be wary of? I guess.
I think the sponsors is absolute limit. Like I said, it's gone way too far. Because you have to consider, especially with being a YouTuber and a content creator, you really rely on these as the main sources of income. Like your income source is already relatively unstable. You can say that to a certain degree because anything could change at any moment, and sponsors are a very reliable source of income. And I think going after sponsors in particular is not only just unnecessary, like you can just go after other things like actual content, which is what they're creating, and not after whatever provides them with being able to live.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Oscar. I'm gonna keep it super real with you, Oscar. Like right now.
Yeah.
I do not care. This YouTube drama, I don't. This like it's not like going after sponsor. Like I don't care. Like sure, whatever. Destroy his income, destroy his way of living. It's not. It's so minuscule to me. It's so irrelevant to me. Like I don't like. I don't I can't even like I can't even offer like a point or an opinion on this topic. It's just like YouTube drama has been so like it's like even if it's like against like, you know, someone has like 3 million subscribers or someone else has like 5 million subscribers and they're like going at each other and going after their sponsors, like I don't care. Like it's just it doesn't make any sense. It's that it's just super irrelevant to me and what I'm doing right now.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair perspective to have. You know, it is like the actual drama itself, I would consider pretty dumb. But the actual question of like whether or not like one should go after like the sponsors, I guess, was the point. But to be fair,
sure,
they are both rich YouTubers. So even if they lose one sponsor, they're still fine. I guess the greater concern is that because they've engaged in this back and forth feud, now people know that if you're angry with someone on YouTube, you can just go after their source of income. And
that's the main issue. I don't think they're gonna have an issue with it because they are huge. But if that does happen on a smaller scale, like that can really hurt people.
Yeah, I'm kind of siding with Cowie and you guys a bit. So basically, I also think the YouTube aspect of the drama, especially for the big YouTubers, I think they kind of just want to get attention. I think that's one of the main reasons. But definitely, like going after sponsors for like smaller YouTubers, especially if these bigger YouTubers are, you know, the influencers, it sends a bad message, you know, and to the smaller YouTubers that their livelihood depends on like that one sponsor they have. But for like these big YouTubers, like they're gonna be just fine. If anything, they're gonna get more subscribers because, you know, people are just gonna get, you know, fired up and yeah.
I would agree with like Howie that the actual drama itself is like it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I still believe the issue was something important to discuss. But that's just my opinion. All right, guys, thank you for participating in this conversation. So for all of you at home, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.